Hello friends, this time we're going to consider one of the most small-sized options for assembling a gaming system with a high-performance graphics adapter. We carry on reviewing small-sized cases from the Swedish manufacturer, and we would like you to get acquainted with another very interesting solution, Fractal Design Node 202. The vertical placement of the case ensures a fair saving of your desk space. Besides, you can also install a mini-ITX motherboard, SFX power supply unit, a pair of 2.5-inch drives, and a long 2-slot graphics card as well, which is the most important point. Due to the latest feature, the new product is the perfect way to assemble a very small-sized gaming system. And how will perform the efficient components within such a limited space? Let us know it by taking as an example the combination of processor Intel Core i7-4770K and graphics card Asus ROG Matrix Platinum GTX 980 and analyze the other specifications of our hero as well. The case supply set includes first of all the components which are required for the assembly. The products from Fractal Design usually have a restrained design, which is primarily due to the prevailing black color, and Fractal Design Node 202 is not an exception. Even the plastic elements of the pair of USB 3.0 interfaces, which in most cases have a blue color, are made here in dark colors. Near you can find the conventional 3.5mm audio jacks and the power button. Reset button and HDD indicator are not provided for this solution. The dark colors of the back panel are lightened by the manufacturer's brand feature, white perforated caps covering the pair of expansion slots. Apart from these, there is also the cutout for the interface board and the connector for the power supply. The white LED is located near the power button. It is of an average brightness and is to indicate the computer state. Like the bottom panel, the top one is made of metal too. It has large perforation slots just above the processor, and you'd better not cover them. The bottom panel has two perforated areas, the large one opposite to the video card and the smaller one near the power supply unit. The rubber feet of 6mm height protect a surface on which the system unit will be placed, as well as provide a sufficient airflow. The supply kit includes a fairly tight plastic stand for vertical placement of the case. It also has the feet, which prevent computer sliding and scratching furniture coverings. Such option is more preferable in terms of the occupied space. You need just 332 to 125mm to locate the system unit. Also, in this case, the components are surely to get the sufficient air cooling. There are also perforated areas at the bottom and at the top panel by vertical location. Unfortunately, the latter fails dust filter, so it will be a trouble in terms of penetration of small particles into the computer. The top cover provides space for a removable dust filter, which protects the processor against dust penetration. Visually, the interior space is divided into two parts, for a graphics card and for a system board with a power supply unit. The user's guide includes the detailed description about what, where and how to install. The mounting seat of power supply unit is equipped with anti-vibration pads. It will fit any SFX solution no longer than 130mm. We shall know that the tested case is also available with the installed power supply unit Fractal Design Integra SFX of 450 watts, which matches 80+ bronze standard and is equipped with two 6+2 pin connectors for video cards. With Fractal Design Node 202, you can install only a couple of 2.5-inch drives. A channel bar is used for their mounting, which is fastened to the baffle plate between the graphics card and the power supply unit with one screw only. The video card is installed by means of the supplied angle adapter with an extension. It is fixed to the baffle plate with 3 screws. To make the installation more convenient, you can partially remove the baffle, as well as a part of the rear panel with plugs for their expansion slots. This is very handy when installing long video card, as it was in our case. The general procedure should be as follows. You remove a part of the baffle plate and of the back panel with plugs. Screw the angle adapter to the baffle, install the PCIe extension, mount the video card to this framework, and further you mount everything in the case. Inside there is a plastic stopper with a gasket to prevent the adapter looseness. It is fixed with a pair of screws and you can access them only after removal of the bottom panel. To do this, you should unband carefully the plastic latches all over the perimeter of the case. By removing the panel, you can also get an access to a pair of dust filters secured by means of magnets. Let's get back to the graphics card mounting. We should know that this operation becomes more complicated when using an overall sized adapter, as it was with Asus ROG Matrix Platinum GTX 980. Because of the large width, 155mm instead of 145mm recommended by Fractal Design, it was impossible to use the stand as it was initially provided. That is why we installed it to the fan mounting seat and turned a bit. This video card edge rose slightly then, although this didn't affect the installation of the case cover. Wires from the front panel and the power cable are close to the graphics card, but they do not hinder its installation. However, you should pay a particular attention to proper cabling to avoid contact with the rotating fan blades. If thickness of the card with the coolant system doesn't exceed 50 or 35mm, then opposite to it you can mount one or two 120mm impellers with a profile height of 10 or 25mm respectively. The height of the CPU cooler is limited to 58mm according to our measurements because of the slim case. During the testing we used cooler Noctua and HL9X65 with a height of 65mm. Obviously that it leaned against the top cover and that is why the dust filter was removed. Nevertheless, we managed to close the case. As a result, we were lucky to assemble a system with the above-mentioned components. The manufacturer took care of the most user-friendly installation of the key components, power supply unit, graphics card and drives, using a series of removable elements for this purpose. We used the following equipment to test the small-size case Fractal Design Note 202. The chart All System Load displays heating of the components after 30 minutes of 3D Mark Fire Strike in Ultra mode. The second mode shows temperature readings under load with applications AIDA64 and MCI Combustor during 15 minutes. Since the tested case is small-sized and all the components are located close to each other, it is quite obvious to have their relatively high temperatures. In particular, it relates to the drive and to the video card. Properly speaking, these indicators are interrelated. Should we get apart from comparison of Fractal Design Note 202 with sufficiently spacious solutions and just consider the figures obtained, and they're all within the permissible limits. For example, the working temperature of SSD drives is 70 degrees, while the modern hard disk drives have it at an average of about 60 degrees. But still, there are some points to think about. The graphics card with consumption of about 165 watts and the 84 watts CPU have rather high heating under full load, and thus, in order to get the lower temperature readings, we would recommend considering more energy-efficient solutions as far as possible. Many computer users find no sense in using bulky tower cases if you can do with smaller solutions. Therefore, the market offers more and more alternative SFF models. And the tested case Fractal Design Note 202 belongs to this line, and it appears to be a real small-sized and fairly capacious solution. Despite the small dimensions, it can fit a video card of up to 310mm in length. Therefore, it is possible to assemble a very attractive gaming computer on the basis of this model, which is only slightly superior to modern consoles. Since the case is relatively small, the temperature inside the components will be slightly higher as compared to more capacious solutions. You cannot avoid this within a small size form factor, and you have to consider this feature when choosing components. However, there was no overheating in the combination of i7-4770K and Asus ROG Matrix Platinum GTX 980, even under continuous stress test load, and you can get quite comfortable temperature readings during the conventional usage. Therefore, this case is definitely worth considering if you wish to assemble a small-sized computer with a discrete graphics card or without it. Best regards to you, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Bye bye.